When you want to transform your entire life, when you want to go all the way, when you want to step into fucking unreasonable awesomeness, when you're ready to leave the shit behind and you are ready to really, truly, completely change your life all the way, no more of this suffering, hell, craziness. I don't know how far I can go. I don't know how great it can be. I just know that I keep hearing there's more. I keep hearing there's energy. I keep hearing that I'm an infinite, unlimited being. I'm accepting that possibility, and I want to move in that direction. I am giving you the most essential, simple, core principles behind it. Number one, for all the hours and hours I've put into explaining the breathing, breathe like you mean it. Breathe enough to move the energies that are in you that you don't want anymore out and let them transcend back into infinite possibilities, and simultaneously breathe deep enough to breathe in the energy that we have ignorantly, unconsciously labeled as oxygen and air and hydrogen and helium and atoms and nitrogen and all the other bullshit. Undo and ignore and release all of that, and understand that every breath is a miracle beyond measure. Trillions of quintillions of atoms, which are actually not atoms. They're actually blinking subatomic, constant, aware, conscious energy lights. So just the breath comes first. Then here's this picture I want to paint for you. The secret is to celebrate the movement rather than focusing on anything else. And here's how to do it. The recipe for heaven is to focus on everything you have overcome, everything you have faced and moved through, everything that you have transcended and dissolved and released, which actually is all releasing and dissolving it back into infinite possibilities from what you thought you knew it was. So I'm calling that path to heaven is looking at where you were and looking at where you are and noticing with gratitude how far you've come. Be fully aware, be cognizant and conscious and appreciative and documentarily aware by making notes of everything that has changed for you since you started this journey. And in our case, everything that has changed since we started working this program together. So every time you have a self-spell break, you write down, wow. And then every time you think about, wow, that session that we did, oh my God, I was dealing with this pain and this and this fear, and then that transcended. The more you document and note those things intentionally, with attention and with presence, what you're doing is you are creating a momentum from where you were to where you are that keeps pushing and moving to where you want to be automatically and effortlessly. Your mind, your RAS, the brain, those parts of the universe that work that way go, oh, you want more of that? Because that's what you're focused on. Well, let's do more of that. So you create this momentum by focusing on where you've been and really documenting and noticing. So that Bible phrase that I quote every once in a while of, it is a wise one who recalls and recounts and revisits their blessings. It's a wise one who does that. And that creates more wisdom and more power and more bliss and more joy, because you're making momentum by focusing there. So just kind of let that in. The path to hell, the recipe for hell, is to look at where you are and look at where you want to be, because you immediately put yourself in opposition to all the things you haven't resolved, and it's so fucking insurmountable to get from here to there, like, oh fuck, I give up, and all the things I've never done and all the things I've never been able to overcome and all the things that are still there, and look at how far I haven't come, and look at how. So you've heard me say this before, and now you're getting it and absorbing it on a whole new level in a totally new way. deeper from all the things we've already moved and transcended. So now let's go even further. How could we master that? How could we master that? And here is a profound set of principles that move in that direction. When someone is a fairly sharp person, they like to ask questions. They ask smart questions about how does it and why could I and how is and why is that, and they're really cognizant. You breathing? All right. And then they do something repeatedly with excellence. And what excellence actually means is having presence and completing something. That's what excellence actually means, is present and completing things. Excellence. Finish. Getting out and through that excellence. Moving through and finishing it. That's all excellence really means. We put other attachments on it. You and I are keeping it simple. When they do that, what happens is they begin to notice and know and see things that no one in the history of the world could have ever known and seen and been aware of by going through those things over and over and over again with attention and presence and smart questions. And they begin to find things. Now, I want to show you a simple way of looking at this. Imagine someone whose career is sweeping floors. Now, that don't make them a floor sweeper. They're still an infinite, unlimited beings. It's just that they've decided their job is sweeping floors. Now, is it possible for someone to become an absolutely outstanding 5-star, next level of efficiency and effectiveness floor sweeper? Absolutely, yes. Someone could become the pinnacle expert at sweeping of floors, to where literally they find shortcuts, they find ways of using the broom that no one has ever determined. Now, some would say, who fucking cares? People that like clean floors care. But that's not the point. The point is, it could be that. It could be changing oil. Someone who changes oil on 10,000 cars, being present, never taking it for granted, and paying attention. They would be in a perspective to notice things about oil and about the bottom of cars and about usage of wrenches, about posture, standing while you're reaching up and working. They could become insightful experts at things that no one has ever seen or known, because they're present, they're paying attention, they have so much exposure, so much experience, so much expertise on that simple thing. Now, let's take it to the next level. And I am so grateful to see you breathing like that. Our topic is that our topic here is you becoming free, more free every minute, every hour, every day, dissolving the past, dissolving the struggle and the pain, transmuting it back into the infinite possibilities that it actually always is and was. Now, we're narrowing it down to the path to hell is looking at what is and looking at how you want it to be and being overwhelmed by all the unfaced, all the undealt with, and how insurmountable and far it is to get to where you want to be. And the path to heaven is to look at where you've been and look how far you've come and celebrate, which also catapults us strangely and miraculously into the part we want, which is that momentum into what we want. It's just so amazing. Now, I'm layering out this for you, and I'm going slow on purpose. I really want this to soak into every cell, every vibration, every subatomic tissue and magic and sparkle in your body where it takes root today. So, when someone does something with excellence, with presence, and they get enough exposure, they begin to see and know things that no one's ever seen and known, and that no one could ever see and know. without that exposure and experience. Now let's layer it. When someone does that and then they change fields, like let's say, we're keeping this really simple. The person who sweeps floors begins to wax floors. It's very close to their original thing. The guy who was changing oil on cars is now changing oil on trucks, big 18-wheeler trucks and tractors and shit. Suddenly, if they continue to be present and breathing and inquisitive and observant as they go, and they do 10,000 of those, it doesn't have to be 10,000, I'm just being playful, but they do 10,000 of those, wouldn't they have a perspective about the bottom of vehicles that probably no one has ever had? Might they notice, oh, you know, if that part of the car was moved there, this could happen. Like almost every car has it this way, but if they would just rearrange that, see, they're in this perspective from doing it over and over and over and revisiting it and tuning in and being present as they do, and they absorb this insight that no one's ever had, no one could ever have. The lady or the guy that was sweeping floors who's now waxing, man, they could realize, you know what, if we reorganize the order of this, I could do 10,000 square feet of floors in a day, whereas before I could only do 7. I don't know what insights they might gain. I do know that there's companies who pay, and there's people who pay people to sweep floors and wax floors. I also know there's people who pay to change oil, and there's companies with fleets of vehicles that get oil changed. So who knows what new insights and efficiencies and increases of effectiveness, let alone other things, might come in. Is your mind still open, even though this might not be making total sense yet?
Be the dog.
Be beautiful. Be beautiful. Being the dog and breathing it in. All right. Now, let's make it not doing floors. Let's make it not changing oil. Let's make it something more complex with a lot more variables and a lot more variety and complexity. So let's say it's brain damage, brain surgery. Someone who's done 10,000 brain surgeries, paying attention, being present, we hope. And wouldn't you imagine after a while they might notice that there's better ways to drill in? Wouldn't you imagine that they might notice that there's better, if we do this first and that first, then we have so much more success rate, way less people dying here, and way more people having full recovery. They might learn things about which vein to avoid or how to go here first, or maybe we put one little tiny shot of this specific stuff that creates this result right here before we go in to, like, it's amazing the level of knowledge and expertise. Now, next level. What if someone did brain surgery, 10,000 operations, and about 8,000 operations in, they actually started doing spinal cord work? They might have a realization at some point by being present and tuning in and observing and focusing and asking questions and doing it again and again. They might notice, wait a minute. Now that I see this in the spinal structure, we need to completely rethink the way that we're affecting the brain. That's entirely possible, isn't it? Okay, I could go on. I'm going to just do one more example. I'm going to talk about business for a minute. Someone who does ivory tower marketing work. They do marketing, but they're not knowledgeable about sales. They're not knowledgeable about really interacting with the customer. And so they have these ideas of what they like and how they think it'll work and how they want to present their product, blah, 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 blah. They hand it over to the sales team, and the sales team goes, this is shit. This is not going to work. I know what our customers want and need because I deal with them every day. So if this company would take their marketing people and let them sell for a few months before they put them in their marketing chair. And if they would take those salespeople and put them in the marketing chair for a few months before, or if they'd have them alternate positions every month, can you imagine what kind of synergy, what kind of magic could evolve out of that? Now, you see all those pictures of what happens when someone repeatedly, consistently approaches a topic with focus, presence, attention, asking questions, being observant, and doing something over and over and over and over and over again. I'm telling you that one of the reasons that everybody suffers, this makes total sense, does it not?
Yes.
Okay, now I'm going to apply that to you and total life transformation with efficiency, effectiveness, and excellence. Up until now, we've been visiting our life and visiting the topics of our life from the way we were programmed, and we programmed ourselves, and we programmed those people to program us to think. And so we look largely from the recipe for hell. And we look at what's fucked up, and we look at what doesn't work, and we wonder what's wrong with the world today, and what's wrong with children today, what's wrong with me today, and why are people blah? And there's all these questions that we revisit unconsciously over and over. And we are all ninja fucking experts. Ninja fucking experts at what's wrong. Now, quick side note, I believe that question, what's wrong, that most parents ask their children, and most husbands ask their wives, most wives ask their husbands, most people ask each other, every time they see any frown, what's wrong? Oh my God, let's focus every fucking thing we have on wrongness. And then we ask children that, and the kids, wrong, schmong, ding dong. I have no fucking idea. But you're telling me something's wrong. When you see me sad, you're telling me something's wrong. Wrong must be sad. Sad must be wrong. And there's another thing that now we know. Okay? So what happens, my love, my friend, infinite, unlimited being disguised as a client for me to help? What would happen if we would create a new habit and take it seriously of becoming an expert and observant, repeating, efficient, effective, question asking, expert, committing constant excellence at focusing not on what's right necessarily, because that's only going to make more of what's wrong, but focusing on how far have I come? What did I actually release in that last session? What did I overcome today? I remember that moment came up, and oh, holy shit, when that moment happened and I was braced for the pain that I've always felt, the anger, the sadness, the fear, when that situation arose and I braced myself for the upset that I've always felt, and I realized, oh fuck, I don't feel upset. I go back and I write that shit down right now in my journal of celebrations. I write down, holy crap, all my life, when that topic came up, I felt braced for trouble. Like I was sitting outside the principal's office about to get my ass beat, or I was standing outside and dad was about to spank me, or whatever it was. And now when that topic arises, I don't feel anything. Oh my God, what a win, what a breakthrough, what a shift. And you celebrate that. And the universe says, oh, you want more of that? And then you later that day, you write down how amazing you feel around this that used to be. And now you're multiplying that. And then you say, man, you know what? Last week, when I watched that replay, Brian, of the session that we did, and we solved that, I stopped and I paused it and I wrote down, I was feeling panic about this topic my entire life. And when that spell break came up, I felt like I was going to choke and die. And we moved through it. And now today, when I think about that topic, there is no upset left. I thought about it a damn week later. There's no upset left. Holy shit, what a gain. Now you're becoming an expert at celebrating your transformation, your transmutations, your transcendence habit. You're becoming an expert at focusing on the wins and the breakthroughs and the movements and the releasings of the past and the transmuting all the pain back into infinite possibilities, and how you have so many more resources and how you have so much more clarity, and you have so, oh my God. And then you review that, and then you review that, and then you review, oh my God, I'm creating the habit of reviewing my wins. Let me write that one down. And the universe goes, so you don't, for the last 60 fucking years, 50 years, 40 years, for the last 40 years, you've been focusing on this shit over here. So I kept bringing you more and more and more of that. But now you actually focused on this. Let's do more of that. And you have this moment when you have become the one that did 10,000 oil changes. You become the one who did 10,000 floor sweeps with some floor waxing. Different surfaces, and finding out how different substances work on different. You've become a ninja expert at celebrating your own wins, and suddenly you have this experience where this moment happens, and you go, "Oh shit! The universe is actually winking at me. That was me the whole time. All those things that I was resisting and resenting and fearing and fighting and fussing and fuming and flummoxed, and boy, I wish I had one more F word. Fuck!
Frustrated.
Thank you. I'll take that one. How'd I miss that?
Ooh.
And now, today, I am becoming a ninja at celebrating and counting and focusing on my blessings. And I put more time and energy into that. Now, what happens when you take the breathing? What happens when you take the breathing and you breathe deeply and presently while you're focused on that? That's what you're putting into your body and your cells and your organs and your tissues and your nervous system, while showing other things the door.